Hello, how are you? This is Andrea with ADS, and today is about video workflow. How do you do video workflow, especially if you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, personal brander, if you're basically, if you've got a small business or you're all by yourself, but you want to do video content. What does that process look like? For just one video, if you want to knock out one video for you, yourself, your personal brand, your business, what does that look like? Well, I'm going to tell you about my own process and how that works in my world. The first thing I do when I get ready to record is this. So I will turn on my light, this beautiful beauty ring kind of halo light, which I will show you. At the moment, I kind of need a new tripod, so I have this little kind of flexible tripod, which is very fun because, if I'm not sitting here, sometimes for fun, I'll do like cooking videos in my kitchen, when I'm cooking dinner, which is super fun. Especially if it's a beautiful looking dish, I love to do that, and I'll put it on my personal Instagram, which you're welcome to check out at Miss ADS08. So in any case, what's cool about that little tripod is it's flexible. So whether I choose to mount it here on my beauty ring light, or I take it in the kitchen and wrap it around some, kitchen cabinetry, those beautiful hardware pieces for cabinets. It can wrap around that, and that works for cooking. It can stand alone on a desktop if needed. If I'm out and about, I can stand it on a Starbucks table while I'm chatting, if I'm doing an interview, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a lovely, very adaptable little tripod. I do need I have another tripod that has proper legs and everything, and it, extends pretty far down, and it can be tabletop or, it can sit on the floor, but the top broke. So I'm kind of upset about that. And I thought I actually have a replacement thing right here. This little number by Joby. And so, yeah, to know, I'm so not great with tech and hardware and all that kind of thing. So it takes a lot for me to do something. So if I can do it, anybody can do this. Anyway, so I bought this little piece at Best Buy, and I'm still trying to figure out, can it work on my tripod, even though it's the top is broken. Might not be able to, but I'm gonna keep this little piece anyway in case it works on a new tripod. So looks like it works, should work. So in any case, so I have my tripod, my light set up, I mic myself up. So I'll show you my mic, and it works great with black clothes, but this is my little mic. And I will link to all this for you so that you can see it. I usually run it up my shirt or something. And this mic is an Insignia mic, and it's specifically made to go in your smartphone. So you can see here it says Insignia and camera or smartphone, and you can move this little thing whether you want it up to a camera or you want it for your smartphone. So I've always got it on my smartphone. It does have a little clip back here if you wanted to clip it to something like your clothes. So I mic up, and then I make sure my set looks good. In my camera, I always use my camera. So my camera is it's my phone. But it's fantastic video quality. People ask me all the time what the heck I use, and they're so shocked when they hear that it's my phone. But these phone cameras are getting better and better. They're just going to keep improving. They're outstanding. Look how far they've come in just 3 years. I was looking back on some Scotland photos from 3-4 years ago with my iPhone 5S that I had back then. It's so tiny. I still have that from, even though the screen is cracked. And comparing those photos and video to this Samsung phones and video, incomparable. So this phone is a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. And so I got it when I needed to upgrade my phones. And so I mainly care, I really wanted to go back into iPhone world because I love iPhone Apple world. However, I was going to subject myself to the experts that be. And I said, okay, iPhone X or Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, and they said, hands down, if what matters to you is video quality and camera quality, it's going to be Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. The very best at this time. I'm sure, 6 months from now, there's something even better that's going to be out there, but this is what I've got at the moment and I'm very happy with it. So that goes on the tripod and I turn everything on and go. So sometimes I attempt to do like a 5-minute timer on myself, which I love this little timer. It's so handy. The other day, my nice 30-minute timer, which I super love because it was simple with gray sand, it broke. So I'm gonna have to get another one. But I like this 5-minute timer. It's great. So sometimes I'll use that just to like visually keep myself in check. I try not to abuse the time here and try to be quite succinct with what I do in terms of video. So now, after everything's set up and everything's a go, I go with my topic. And sometimes, if it's something that I can just rattle off the top of my head without having to go through several very succinct and distinct points, like this video, I can just tell you about my process off the top of my head because I do it all the time. Other videos, I may need a little cheat sheet, so I'll keep like a clipboard with my pen nearby so that I can check off the points as I'm talking through them. And I've heard different feedback about that. Some people are like, girl, you don't need that clipboard. And I'm like, I love clipboards. Ask anyone who meets with me, they will see a clipboard on hand. So I'll often use a clipboard if I have several points I need to remember, so that I'm not sitting here like, oh crap, I forgot to say this, so all that pre-planning happens, of course, before you hit go. So you already know your topic, you already know what you're talking about, and then you turn on the camera, record. The nice thing about recorded video versus live video is if you mess up, you can always edit it out. But so far, I think I've been doing pretty good. Like the more I do this, the better I get at it. Live video, just kind of is what it is, but it always ends up fun. It always ends up fun. So I'm happy either way with live or recorded. The issue with live is time, especially when you're interviewing someone. But even if you're not interviewing someone, like I just did one for New Year's Eve, and it was all about what's your one word for 2019. And that was solo by myself in my sparkly New Year's dress. And we were chatting with me and my friends and everyone who chimed in about what our one word is for 2019 and what it was for 2018, all this cool stuff. And even by myself, because I was interacting, engaging so much with the people who were chiming in live, that easily went over half an hour. We could have been there 45 minutes to an hour if I let it. And I'm just not trying to do that to people because, I'm trying to keep my videos succinct as possible. And again, as you know, I can get a little excited. So a little carried away. So I try to rein it in. So in any case, so after the video is recorded, it's done, whether it was live or otherwise, but mainly I'm talking about these recorded videos. You recorded a video, it's finished. Then I head over to Adobe Premiere Pro. So I take my phone, USB it to my laptop, copy the file over into the latest video file folder that I have. So I have a little system of dates that I keep track of videos and the content that's in it. And I go about preparing my video. And I have like an ADS YouTube branding folder where I can pull standard elements that are always in my video, like my logo, some in-screen shots that show my iPod, my podcast, which can show on iTunes, not an iPod. Do people use that anymore these days? Probably not. So I have a podcast image that shows up. I have a page that's all about how to find us on social media. So it'll say follow us, or it's basically a social media page, and it shows our social media handle, which is the same everywhere. Little tip for you, very convenient. Make your social media handle, if possible, the same everywhere. That's important when you're naming your business or thinking about the name for your personal brand and all of that. So make it easy on your audience and make it easy on yourself. Have one social media handle everywhere. So I've got a image for that. And then I usually try to end up with a nice quote that kind of goes with the theme for the video. And that is all the end scenes. And in the beginning, I've got my logo, Andrea at the ADS agency. I add that in. And then anything else I want to add in, it just really is time dependent and really what I want my audience to see if it adds value, you know, to the story. If I've got the time and I can add in stuff like B-roll or imagery, I'll do that. And that's what I can do with, you know, the limited amount of skills that I've taught myself about Adobe Premiere Pro, which is not hard to do. And I hope to do a quick video about that sometime soon too. For those of you who are new to Adobe Premiere Pro and you're trying to DIY this stuff for yourself, for your own business, I'm happy to share my quick little tips of what I've learned. But yeah, that's my process. So yeah, so I'll edit whatever I'm gonna do. I'll do all my editing in Adobe Premiere Pro, save it, and then you're gonna export it in, like, it's the format, I think it's H.264. For whatever reason, that's what works. And basically you're turning into a video file, an MP4 file. And so I export it, save it, export it. It usually takes a while. So if this video is 15 minutes, it may take 25 minutes to render out and do all of that. So it takes some time. So usually in that time, I'll head over to Canva, which I super love for video thumbnails. They have plenty of like pre-made templates. I kind of made up my own little template in there. And you're basically wanting a high-res JPEG. So it's so easy to use. You know, like, I'm not a designer, so Canva is just a quick thing you can use for things like video thumbnails. So I'll go and do my video thumbnail there. And I normally will use a picture of myself from the video. So normally after this video, you'll see me, like, you don't see this, but I'll show you this today, but you'll see me like posing. I will just like pose with some little prop or something, you know, and just like hold it and look in the camera and hold, and I'll do something else, you know, and it looks silly. But if I do that, then as I'm editing in Adobe Premiere Pro, I can take still shots. It makes it very easy to take high-res still shots, you know, especially because a lot of us we're doing this by ourselves. Somebody thought I had an editing team one time, and I was like so honored to hear that, because I was like, I wish I had a team. But it's just me. So, like, you know, you're essentially using the video to take selfies of you, but it looks like someone else took the picture because you're hands-free and all that. So it's awesome. So I'll take a still shot like that. I'll put it in, throw it in Canva, make a little thumbnail for myself. And what I found is that you need to make it a JPEG. And often for Canva, it's even as a JPEG, it's too high res for what YouTube wants. So what I usually normally do is downsize it. I'll go like in Paint. This is so sad. I'm sure there's much easier, efficient ways to do all this, but I'm just telling you what I do right now. I'll go in a little Paint editor and take my photo, put it down to 80% of its original size, and then resave it as a JPEG. And that usually does a trick to meet the size and all that pixel requirements for YouTube's thumbnails. Because they want it to be high res, but it can't be too high res, and it can't be too big of a file size. Like, I think it can't be over 2 megabytes. And Canva will give you often, especially if you do a PNG file, it'll definitely be over 2 megabytes if you're using the YouTube cover art, not cover art, but thumbnail art kind of theme packages they have. So again, I just kind of made up my own YouTube thumbnail that I like, just based off of simple shapes and my logo. And then I have a consistent style with, you know, the type of font I like to use and that kind of thing. So that way your thumbnails on your channel have a consistent branded look. And so I do all this while that video is rendering. And then once it's done rendering, I will upload to YouTube, and that takes an additional like another 30-ish minutes, 20-30 minutes, depending on how long your video is. And then while it's step back. So this is very important, especially for those of you who are going to upload to YouTube. It's all about your metadata. So even when you're in Adobe Premiere Pro and you're saving your file, the file name is even important for searchability. So what I'll do while everything's rendering, another thing I'll do is I'll go on YouTube and I'll do keyword searches. because you have all this time while this stuff is rendering down. And I'll keyword search the most perfect title ever to use, which there's so many tips to that. I'll do like another video if you like on that later, because there's so much to keyword searching. But essentially you're looking for the best title possible. It doesn't have too high of a traffic volume so that you can be actually searchable and starting to get some of that passive traffic from either Google or YouTube, because as you know, YouTube's owned by Google. So you want the best title ever. That title of your file is also going to translate into the title that you put for your actual video. So as my video is uploading to YouTube, it's got the file name, has a title, and then the title for the video has that same name. So you're doubling up, layering on this metadata here. Then you want to be very descriptive in your description about what the video is about. Use some good keywords about what it's actually about. Throw in all of your hyperlinks. So I usually do like links to things people can download for free. I do my ebook, which is like only $3.49 on Amazon. And then I have all these links to relevant videos about marketing, brand planning, and all this stuff. And then links to how people can find me and my website and all that kind of thing. And all of that takes time while this video is rendering. The most important thing next is your tags on your video. So then I'll go through and tag. And again, this is all very strategic for keyword searches because you want to rank. You want your videos to rank. So again, that's another video for another day. However, there are wonderful, very great strategies for how to get your videos to rank on YouTube. One of the most joyful things about this process is when you upload that video, even when no one's watched it yet, just because of the title, and probably also because of your channel strength at the time, your video can rank number 1, number 3, number 6, whatever, on certain keyword search terms off the bat, just because there's no other video out there like it. But it's in a good volume space where you have a good chance of being found. So it's so fun to see your video ranking already, even like when nobody's watched it yet. So, but it's even more critical to go back later and see, which videos are ranking the highest, which ones got the most views and all that, which you can all sort and filter in YouTube. So that's like the high level of what happens when I upload a video and my process for videos. What I'll also do is reshare that, so it'll get shared on Twitter, it'll get shared on LinkedIn, which is lovely because it looks like a native file when you put it on LinkedIn, sparingly on Facebook. I more so have tried to do like native videos on Facebook, which means you're uploading your video directly to Facebook. For many reasons, for many algorithm reasons, Facebook just likes native things much better. Every now and then on my personal page, I'll link off to a YouTube link, but that's very rare because it doesn't show up pretty. I mean, you get this, it's not a big, nice, square image of your video like you'll see on LinkedIn or like you'll see on Twitter where it automatically plays, which is great. On Facebook, it'll show up like a little bitty thumbnail square and then the title of your video. It just does not, I mean, they don't play fair, YouTube and Facebook. Facebook wants to keep everyone on Facebook, which you can understand, and they don't have a relationship like Instagram does because Facebook bought Instagram. So anyway, that's how I distribute. And every now and then, if it's a very special video, I'll usually pick a video a month to email out to my email list. Right now, I typically only do an email a month. And I know there's people who do an email a week, twice a month, every day. I hate getting lots of email, which I think a lot of people hate getting lots of email. And that might be bad for a marketer to say, but I don't care. I try to put myself in other people's shoes. So I think good, consistent content, and it's hard enough as a business owner to do your own content. So for me, doing once a month is pretty dang good. That's pretty dang good right now. So there you have it. That is my video process, what happens in my video workflow. What questions do you have? What's your process like? And be happy to answer any questions you might have about my process or anything I've shared with you. I will link to all the equipment and stuff that I showed you and mentioned in this video. I'll link to below so that you can check it out for yourself. And that's it. If you like this video and you found it valuable, please click the like button to like this video. Go ahead and do that. And also subscribe to this channel. This is the ADS Agency. We are here to give you the very best in marketing, branding, and business tips so you can DIY some of this for yourselves. Entrepreneurs, personal branders, solopreneurs, all right? So hope to have you subscribe here. And when you click subscribe, you'll also notice a little bell that pops up. You want to make sure that you click that bell because that bell gives you notifications of when these videos upload. Without it, you often will likely miss these videos. That's honest, it's true. I have found some channels that I've subscribed to and I have not seen those videos in forever. And you know, randomly I'll be on the homepage and scroll across and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. I remember he was cool. Why don't I see his stuff? It's because I didn't click the little bell. So be sure, if you want to keep tabs on what happens on this channel, click that little bell. All right? You're fabulous. Thanks so much for watching. See you later. Have a great week.